council of King Louis XIV.
Nobles and ministers spent days and nights discussing state affairs.
They consult, argue, make agreements, break others, then argue again until the right moment comes. Two of them are chosen to represent opposing viewpoints before Louis himself, who will decide what.
He chooses. After choosing the people, everyone has more discussion. How can she phrase their words? What annoys Louis and what pleases him? What is the appropriate time and place in the palace of Versailles to meet him? What facial expressions should they make when they meet him?
Finally, after all of this has been decided, the decisive moment comes.
The two men approach Louis. It was always a critical issue.
And when they listen to him, they have to present the current issue and explain to him all the available options in detail. Louis listens silently with a puzzled look on his face, and finally, after each of them finishes his speech, they ask the king,
expressing his opinion. He looks at him and says, "We will see," and moves on. After that, neither the ministers nor the courtiers would hear another word from the king on the matter. They would only see the result weeks later after he had made his decision, and implemented it, and did not bother to consult them on the matter again. Louis. One of his most frequent comments was "we will see," a comment he used to respond to most types of demands and questions. Louis was not always like this. In his youth, he was known for talking a lot and was happy with his eloquence in conversation.
His lack of talking imposed itself on him like a mask that confused all those under his command. No one could know what he thought, what position he would take, or what he wanted to hear until he had to say it to him.
The more elite men talked to Louis, the more he learned what was inside their souls, information that he skillfully used against them at the right time. Louis's silence terrified those around him and made them subjugate them, and it was one of the foundations of his power.
And as Saint Simon wrote, no one could compare to him in selling his words, smiles, and even his looks.
Everything Louis had value because he gave it value.
His prestige and majesty were rooted in the scarcity of his words.